zun che wu che la ya zun che wu nian de la ya zun che wu la ma la ya zun che wu san ye la ya zun che wu che la ya zun che wu nian de la ya zun che wu san ye chi dang so ji zhong nang la shang zheng bar de dong ne ya sun zhi da ye jin zong jie yue zhong nang ji na ban zhi san ye ge bar shou san ye zhi dang so ji zhong nang la shang zheng bar de dong ne ya sun zhi da ye ren zong jie yue zhong nang ji na ban zhi san ye ge bar shou san ye zhi dang so ji zhong nang la shang zheng bar de dong ne ya sun zhi da ye ren zong jie yue zhong nang ji看着三年的本手，身经当知给我当地位的当本知知，身经当知给我当对我一直当本知知。身经当知给我们每天给我当门的知识，身经当知你当找到你当找为当用我的知身经当知的我当对为知当本知识。身经当知对我当对我知当找我知知，身经当知对我对我当门的知知，身经当知你当找到你当找为当用老的知知。日不觉是上的多长，日龙日日长光的，三界上都没得个我哩。若不能到上了就不是说一当不是那个没有的呀。
Now in English on page number 11, I take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. From now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the merit created in this practice, I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and causes. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, feel bias, attachment, and anger. Is crowned, mounted with perfume, strewn with flowers, Mount Meru, encircled by the four continents, surmounted by the sun and the moon. I visualize this Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy the pure land. Idam Guru Ranga Vedada Kameya Daya. I'll say the Tara Tara prayers on page number 74 and the mantra as well.
So ye la Om Dare De Dare Dare So 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 Ne kötüsü. Agora, o tanga tu gom te ya is some ne tarik no sami kha sam na ji roma gom ne karma tarik sar ya to no to ma gom ya is ki to tamba.
Good morning. Thank you for coming, and it's good to have you here again in this cyberspace. Now we'll begin our today's discussion and with meditation on Aryatara, and we're going to recite in mentally the Aryatara mantra for 100 times, and then meditate on that. Then afterwards, then we begin our discussion. Hello. Oh, my mistake. I'm sorry. Not 100 times, 1,000 times. 1,000 times of Aryatara mantra. Actually, we reciting the utter in the mantra, and or we did mentally and recitation. And then we made while we are reciting either verbally, mentally, and we meditate on the images of the Aryatara simultaneously. Of course, we got our ultimate goal for doing this kind of practice, but essentially, and for the time being, and while we are meditate on Aryatara, and we pray and wish that all beings and can free from the suffering in general, but particularly and may all sentient beings free from and coronavirus pandemic sooner.
Ja,我答呢，啊，正在是在西边么的过，这马来是在西边么的过子呢，大家看到你，看上当过东西对吧？就
Mula, Nili Skype speaker di Kachisha Jagwarwa. Ni dini kach machina chu phe nyengen zu gurwe.
저랑기 스카이프 디 깨충주 시장 되게 저랑 비니니 깨충주 치잖아
충초 가자세요.
저랑 비게는 뮤트도 돼 스카이프 스카이프 디 뮤트도 돼 깨면
뮤트 때도와 예 충초 가자마도 뮤트 지단디 뮤트 제트 그래. 그러다 뮤트 제베나니 년캔도 년도 그래서 그래.
년도 줌도 년도
어이 나게서
어이
나서 뭐야 건다.
아까 좀 존지 그때只是샘진 상당의 예외 상시 특别松대당 거를 것이 마시시 대들 분선 속 대들 분선 파로신 샘진 남당 야와리 성지 체드 자와라 야라 기샤 대진도 샘진란 무시 이틀 삼비윤의 랑기 문제 다들 가정 교러와 시소 자용 샘진 탐지 샘진 성지기 예당 저지위 용콩 통리 샘진라가 치고 큰데 거를 그때 대니레지다 더버스 교더라 가정 교더 교는 된데 시직 잡더니 마 아주 어떻게 가면서
Okay. Let's go to your translation, page 53. Toward the end, we haven't actually read this, but just for a quick review, and we're going to read Shanti Davis, The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life says, therefore, the Mighty One has stated that there are a field of sentient beings and the field of Buddhas. For many who have pleased them have thereby reached perfection. Since the qualities of full awakening are derived from sentient beings and the conquerors alike, how can we act respectfully towards conquerors and not towards the sentient beings? And we should not foster such an attitude.
Oh yeah. It's that the tono so with another Chetango Sangi is Suya Tosas Gura Kachi Senjin the Masan Rochi, the day you are Marius, Marango members over Sangi Sala Doala, Tony Latini, Jimmy John, Tony Sonny Duoza, the George Shapala Sim Doasim Jindang, Sangi in Chago, Yores, but there's a da and the Sangi Shala Tapatan, Simjing Shala and the Jimbatang. Sutamtang, Zobatang, Thomas, Simjilat and the Parrot Simbitic Monchos, Simjilat in the Jungle. There's a Simjin Bay Kachambores from Sosugala Yunda, the Tonership in Tigi Zote and Jonsaga Simjilat in the Jungle. There's a Dani Simjin Sangi Dawaris, Tosa Bichani and the Soso Mamon Sangi, did the Maron Sangi or Zote, Simjin Chet the Sangi, or there's a Dani Simjin. There's a Yawala Kyoship of the Simjala Makioship, Patch in the Jungle. Marwes in this Susu Semnon, the Sangila Tewa, 본종라 요반당지 샘전라 때당지 지고래 신데 성기가 송요래 성기 치든 자와는 예위기 기샤 때문에 샘전라는 점은 사비윤데랑 기면제네 어때리가 삼로 당고래 따뜻 너무 드셔보라
I want to have a quick review on this point is because this is something very often we sort of ignored or overlooked, and what in general we don't pay a close attention. This is really something as very profound and powerful, because in general, in the religious world, or when we involved with any religious practice or activities, we tend to, in this particular case in the Buddhism, we tend to pay a great respect to Buddha, or express our highest veneration to the Buddha, but we not necessarily really pay the respect to the sentient beings. Even in many cases, we look up on Buddha, regarded them very highly and greatly, but at the same time, we sort of ignore, look down on the sentient being, and not really give them the credit or the respect, which is like in this text particularly saying. Point out it isn't absolutely necessary. So it is a great practice to express your highest devotions and reverence to Buddha, of course. And then, but remember that our goal and the way the reason we approach Buddha and express our devotions and show our respect is because we want to attain enlightenment, right? And we want to perfect our two accumulations, the accumulation of merits, the accumulation of wisdom, right? And by perfecting or achieving the two collections, right? We wanted to attain the two kayas or two bodies of Buddha, the truth body, Dharmakaya, and the form body, the Sambhogakaya. So you can see this is very clear. Our goal is to attain the Buddha and for the benefits of all sentient beings. So, but then the question is, who helped you to achieve this goal? Can make it possible? Obviously, in your practice, but your practice is dependent upon, right? Independent upon the other sentient beings. And this is particularly true because when you try to achieve the perfected two collections of collection of merit and wisdom to achieve the two forms of bodies of Buddha, you have to, right, at the very object of your practice or the place where you needed to achieve this goal is by implementing by practice the 6 greater perfections of right. So the 6 greater perfections and has to depend on the sentient beings, like we talked about previous time. The generosity, to achieve the greater perfection of generosity, you need someone who can take your donations, who can welcome in you and being generous, right? And similarly, if you want to achieve the perfection of morality, again, you need someone to restrain by your body, speech, and mind, and from the non-virtuous action. And similarly, like the patient right, tolerance, and you have to have a specific field, and in this case, is a sentient being, and not the enlightened ones, but is ordinary being, who are the one who would be able to provide the opportunities for you to achieve the great perfection of the patients, right? Similarly, the joyful perseverance, and the perfection for meditation, right? And the fundamental wisdom. All this depends on the sentient being, particularly the first 5 great perfection wisdoms. So, and then we can put this in general, say any quality, right? Any form of status and or something that has a good value, we know that depend on upon and others. And so, yeah, we often forgot that even though we say we want to attend Buddha for the benefits of all sentient beings, but we often forgot that while you consider Buddha is such a the critical and the sources or the fields and for you to working on. At the same time, we have to know that sentient being played the equal role. So therefore, they also deserve, just like the Buddhas and all the enlightened beings deserve our venerations and respect. Similarly, and all sentient beings also deserve the same respect.
다때는 연든 소속직 보이 연든 차점 가시글라 너와대응 초든듯 삼선 파워를 총을 지르스 성지 최초 기위시 샘진 남라 용wen 요베나 너좀 답게 차더니 샘진 초리 르버 지르스 시 샘진 시월 종대 대답이 판디 드발리 원토 멜로 종성 샘진 야월 들어왔리 고바 탐진 용월 송대 상처 센들리즈네 어떻게 거정말
And then here it says in addition, since seeing sentient being as the sources of cause and results of full awakening, they are all worthy of our highest respect. The same text says, even if in order to pay respect to someone in whom a mere portion of good qualities of the unique collection of excellence exists, we were to present the 3 realms, it would be insufficient. Since all sentient beings have a portion of Buddha's supreme qualities, for this reason alone, sentient beings are worthy of respect. It is said that accomplishing the welfare and happiness of sentient beings gives rise to higher status and benefits goodness, definite goodness, whereas every kind of trouble arises from neglecting sentient beings.
다 저기 저거 미스랑 뭐 같은 거 다인데 롱마트 말하고 막선 책 강조는 생각했다고 했었던. 다 노도로 부샴니 생겼들. 집당 안에 아주 럭소 탐지 싸와 배나다 나로 친들로 삼로 당하는 미참하고 나로 직든 디가라 교환이 마시바도 직든 디가 내고 거를 내고 소소라니 내사가 로아섬지 탐지도 소소가 내치 종사를 들이 등을 종사한테 저거 내치 종사 등을 종사도 임비 임생가를 해지네 소소소 섬라트기다 그래서 소 섬라트기가 샘강네 양발 섬지대 달라 샴바동 세위경 조금지 근데 제나 섬지대도 담지네 소소라 기심당 대화당 근데 내키 용거래서 아주 지금 이 노르롱줄 천년도 용조가 섬지절라 되는 용거 때 용거래서 때 맞지 섬지 잠바텔로 컨트롤랑 차도지 nensamchi tedi chini ani shawa tedi dawaina tin devola teni soso ni gupa ngansung andu nesekiala sope chedela na dingal damanga tang ane nyoda mangbo tedi kangal mangbo chegres tensata zo ti chongsa ga sawando terang de semla tigidawres sem ga gangne ni pa jetang ga samlo tang tang ga ane pa chong roa semchi tamchi te chetang ado ngaro zo dedi chongsa ga jedo de semjin de dare da yoris tesa tela ani kiwa chini semjin de dala sewa tang kiwi goni phamba drawa ina chin de la yang de ki yore te pena tene ngiur jongwa se nginjong ki sa ga jedo tela khuri dingen tela samlo tang de la thandu ki lokani lang yong gores tene ngelo tarwi ko te tela tene jongores ani thamji chembi ko te tela tene son semlo soba tela ki jongor tenda 바로 뜻이 봐 기사가 사원도 용사로도 착보라 되면 배낭 알아도 사진로들 샘진담지 사진로들 소소샘 그 삼로 당당다 사원로들 근데 소소샘 그 삼로 그 당네 사원 뜨기 답당나 전업들 뜨기 용거를 만 답당나 텔라 만기 용거 세 답당나 텔라 세기 용거 근데 세기 용나 저런 거다 깡깡따다는 것때 소소다 받대 사진 텔라 때때 tenjong rewa insa tela teni jonggo yong jongjo to sosorani ki longcho goza ngaro zo te hama ko chi nonche sama rent in samjin nonche te tan ti yo mare tango sosorani ke samla jiche tang sosorani ke samne dekhe tang shide tsama phache yo na pasong ne samji tamji saji tang chi bar sangi wi niwa do samji tamji la teni jonggo yo te ta samji sangi ni la kiwa yo gore je otashi do dina che ko tandi
Well, this verse from Bodhisattva's way, the way of guidance, the way of life, it seems a bit hard. It conveys some the message quite subtle, I feel. So, and my interpretation probably won't be match the as it aimed to convey. But anyway, let me try and see what is this. Well, again, like we're talking about, and I believe that the key point of the teaching is that we are naturally looking for, aimed to be doing well. And so there's two things always concern us, right? And one is our temporary well-being, right? That we want to be successful and happy and doing well. So this is the kind of the mundane worldly concern. But then our ultimate goal and ultimate concern is what here technically called the definite goodness. Definite goodness. And the temporary happiness plus the definite goodness. That's the two things that concerns us. And so we try one way or another, or consciously or unconsciously, we're trying to achieve this thing all the time. And in fact, if you look back at your life or just examine your present attitude or the sort of the status of the state of your mind, you will see that from the very beginning of your starting point of your life in this lifetime alone, and until you die, right, you are constantly doing these two things. One is you try to address or try to achieve the temporary happiness, right? Another is at the same time you also try your very hard to aim to do very successful for something that ultimately matters. So that's what we call the ultimate, the definite goodness. And so from the birth, the moment of your birth and until you die, that's what you're doing. And that's because our understanding, our experience of life is that there is happiness and there is suffering. We always try to avoid the suffering and causes of suffering, and then we always naturally and try to achieve the happiness and maintain the happiness. And so it's like we are, in a way, we're doing this by to try to achieve this and by accumulate the wealth and right highest degree education, and to be well and welcomed, and like a good name or reputation, right? And we try to achieve and maintain the good health. So we try all these ways to achieve our goals. And the way we doing this is, in fact, we always depend upon somebody else, right? So like the wealth, the way you accumulate the wealth is, again, it has to be dependent on and form some kind of relationship and get it from others, somebody else, that's the other sentient being. And so do your knowledge and your good reputations and so on and so forth. So everything is directly come from others. When you feel so happy, and if you examine your self, you will see, oh, that's because somebody else, or through somebody else, because of somebody else. So now you achieved, right? You accumulate the wealth, and now you appreciate the good name, and you feel healthy, strong, and good, right? And then you have sufficient money, and so on and so forth. So all this, again, you just don't really consciously say, look, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 because of other. You're not count on those numbers, but you know that without others, you can't appreciate or appreciate the happiness which you have. Of course, at the same time, we must admit that you suffer and you feel pain, you feel challenged and frustrated. Again, it's because of the others. So your happiness and your sufferings and all of them are related to others. And here, in this particular context, we are talking about our spiritual practice. So when we look at the sentient being as a rich resource, or the very rich field, okay? And we are ourselves like a farmer, right? And just like the Buddha, we consider it, is the place where we can develop, right, our spiritual realization and achieve our highest spiritual goal. And similarly, so like the farmer who treated the field, right, with great respect, and then carefully maintain, right, they manage the field. As a practitioner in this particular context, we know that our focus is that the sentient being. Because if you make the sentient being and serve them as make them happy and make them feel well respected, and then you yourself will appreciate the happiness and achieve whatever you aimed to obtain or achieve, accomplish, right? And this is important because if you're not consciously, deliberately doing that, then you would be doing something opposite. That is, when sentient beings are doing well, and you will experience the jealousy instead of rejoicing that their success, right? Instead of show your greater compassion, you probably will ignore, right? And enjoy instead of learn and the useful things from them, you probably will look down them and so on and so forth. And so you would really, and instead of enrich you, or in order to benefit yourself, and the same field that is good sentient beings, right? And you would experience all kinds of awful and non-virtuous experience. And then in the end, right, in the short term, in this life alone, you will not be happy because of you're jealous of somebody's success, you mean to somebody, you've been disrespectful, right? And you hold the harmful intention to others and so on and so forth. Because of other, you will constantly experience all kinds of miseries, right? But we can definitely experience the sentient being and complete from opposite direction. that is, by rejoice their success and by caring and show your love and compassion to them and respect them. So you find that they are so wonderful, and you yourself also enjoy not only this life alone, right? And but you will enjoy appreciate the better rebirth. Ultimately, will achieve your spiritual liberation. So. Yes, so again, here in the religious context, not only in this, the way you mistreated others, sentient being, you not only will have to experience the happiness, unhappiness, and sufferings in the long run, or ultimately, you even, as far as the reincarnation concerned, and your next rebirth will be very, it will born in the lower realm, receive a bad rebirth. So anyway, so good or bad, everything is dependent upon others. But again, others here in the context, in this particular cases, ultimately is dependent upon your mind, so your attitude, right? How you see them and see the others from your mind, and how you consider them and judge their value, and then you will receive the result, or your experience will be according to the forms of or the nature of your mental attitude, right? Of course, we are here talking about essentially we have to develop in order to attain this spiritual realization or attain enlightenment, we have to develop a renunciation. Right? Renunciation again has to be and depend upon somebody else, right? And then you develop the bodhicitta, right? And so again, you need to practice the great 6 perfections, and then need somebody else, and and then ultimately, you want to attain the perfect realization, and so that's similarly, and it has to be depend upon others. So others are like a field, right? And you yourself is the planner, right? And but others here is ultimately again back to your own mind. Your mind is your mental attitude. Your mind, your view, your understanding is really the key. That determines determines the ultimate outcome. For example, so if you look at your mind, your attitude as a field, right, a rich field, it's up onto you. If you plant the poison tree, right, and something is poisoning, then you will receive the result accordingly. Similarly, if you plant the grants and wonderful things there, and like the medicine tree and flowers, you will receive the result also accordingly. And so our problem is that we just often forgot and failed to see this reality. So that's why. So we must know that the sentient beings are as absolutely important. But the importance of sentient being and the way how sentient beings become very important is essentially the point that you have to point out your own mental attitude, and to examine how you look at them. Whether you look at them from your mind is as critical as the object of accumulation, and for you to achieve the 2 accumulations, the merits and the wisdom.
Jikten dendo ngando yi dotang mandul rewote semchen lane pembatang nopale nen reworjir semchen tenna sangji ki kompang nyebar kirna hatang mai longcho kang changtang wangtang chako tang jikten kyongwi ten teta semchen penla pemba chamshiki matang wan dosumda gayang mebar chongchi Semil Tando Yidatang, the Ngan Namba Tamangi, Simjin Namki Nilwakang, Dinner Semjin Noli Jones, Jikum, 판츠 도바당 저와 있는 능력이 도바가상 세메비 샘준 높인 류오 시송소 어떻게 겨울다 파발을 놓고 저도 샘들 거라
So here the great Aryan Nagarjuna says in his commentary on the awakening mind, Nagarjuna states, in this world, pleasant and miserable existence are the desired and unwanted results that arise respectively from helping or harming sentient beings. Should you rely on sentient beings, you will gain the unsurpassable, fully awakening state. There is not a single person in the three realms who has not taken birth as a Brahma, Indra, or Vishnu, the protector of the world, solely through helping sentient beings. What could be more marvelous than that? The many types of suffering experienced by sentient beings as hell denizens, animals, and hungry spirits arise from harming sentient beings. The miseries of hunger and thirst, eating one another, and being overwhelmed by pains that are unrelenting and difficult to avoid are the result of harming sentient beings.
You've roaken Karayordna, doping Dotang Mando, Semnan and Dopaji or Mandopaji, Semnan Dopa de Kiri, Mandopa de Dingerwa. And they take college and did the Dopa de Mandopa Dingerina dated, Dopi Duty Yungu, Rocky Omar, Mandopi Dingerti Yungu or Nakarchin is it, or the Tawati Yungu. Semson and the Pambaton Nopal and Chongris, or the your dad, Tronga. Semjana Pantoana tin devote declium gores, Semjana Novachina tin devote dinglium gores. Tensa teco Jimri Tenjung Namzores. Other Tensa and Semjana teni Pantopin Dio, Jongi Country Resinani, Semjil tennis, Sangiki, Compolan, Lame Nikanat, Semjana tennis, Sangiki Compound, Delatini Yeki or Lana may be compotangi, they were to tell at in the top to your Nazi, Jimson Tishna. Hatang me longcho kangde, and hatang me that is the Korwandi Nanachi, Hami this is such was where hatang me longcho do, they in the Tawatang the ones Tapoton, lots of Jitin Jumi, what they thought, Jitin come with high in Tawans, lots of the bigger Tin Lemba, Little Lemba, T longcho which high it, some chip hammer some gaze in it. Tangwin and Rossum does in them. Then Thomas Simpson comes in the Panta be Koranga. Latini Jomare, so what the Latini Jointa, Jitin Jung, the Donald Simpson and the Pansum Shilki, Pambatam Gita, the Dewa Jomaris, Martin and Dosum, the team, Tilly Doni, Simpson Tamzilla, nobody can Yorzna. Oh, that Telatini, Dingle Jungores, Dingle Tanda, say de la Jung, Dingle Day, Jamit, Sakamare, from Yawashimanam saying, Nandro, Yellow, Yedok, the Luna, Sanam Dingle, Taman Jungores. And the subject I'm thinking welcome. Then the semjin noli jong de nilwi kam de ji sanyi tangyi ji manga shege do de shoji de ko rangjin ji ba ji yo mar de ni jong a sama nanggo nangwa tam de sosu nyunggo yo nyungwa tam ji semge rangjin de pa semjin nobi ji rio de sosu rang ni la sara share mo de 어때 인자 되는 semjin no bali da tela tene gogo to wa komba ane ka komba la soba ane jengi da ba la soba zerwan dengan do to me pa tele so me pa major te semjin no be deli jong oda ko jimchi ni sha tan da 저런 대화 나로 직든 데니 맞지 버데 정말 데니 나도 네 거티로 대화 도고 dengan 도고 말 정말 지바리 이나 대화 톱고 도고 어디 대화 라고 말 dengan 도고 말 dengan 도 jimchen 가르에 지나 어떤 때 저런 semjin la tene 판토가나 근데 어디 키운 거래 semjin 노바잖아 semjin 능을 용 거래 이 jimchen 가르나 판토나 상기지 공방에 되는 톱톱은 잠바단 직든 분수보다 시험하고 그래 난 노바잖아 세비가 능을 잘못다 용화 이 말을 겨 심한남스 안동안 송남스 기그래 어떻게 시고 너도 난 다른 semjin 같이 뭐 버티고 semjin 나 때는 데드근 데오 중요
Well, let's sort of look at the essential message of this passage by Nagarjuna. To fully understand what Nagarjuna is saying here, we have to sort of reflect upon our reality or our living experience. When you look in the back in this exam and see what kind of world or your living very life experience of your life yourself, in the that so we are essentially depend upon physical world or environment. In Tibetan we call it Jukden, and so that means the physical world, or literally means the object which is subject to change, or the physical world that is subject to change. The mundane world or universe is the object that is changeable, and within this under this situation, so we do have the sentient being, right? We have living beings. So living being, or in other words, so we have this mundane physical environment, physical world, and then residents or inhabitants. So inhabitants of the world and the world, that's the two things we have, right? So our then we looking at our own and basic tendency or innate sort of inclination, right? We just naturally and always looking for the two things. One is try to achieve the happiness, at the same time try to reject or eliminate and avoid the sufferings. And so, but our experience is kind of ironic, it's funny, and because even though we are so naturally, innately want to be happy, but that's not necessarily always happen, right? In fact, there's lots of troubles, and instead of appreciate life, enjoying the happiness, we have to deal with lots of troubles, right? But we must ask the question, and the thing we care the most, right? We want it the most, and we genuinely really want to and achieve. Why it doesn't occur? Why it doesn't happen in that way? Why is our experience is the opposite? Right? Instead of experience what do we want? Why we experience the things we do not want? What is the cause? What happened? Right? When you ask this question, then you needed to think about this the dependent horizon. Right? So things are right? From the physical world into your mental experience. Everything is dependent arising. The dependent arising is the law, that's actual the law. Because of dependent arising of law, the power of the law of dependent arising, right? And then you are experiencing, you fail to achieve, by the way, first of all, achieve what you naturally wanted, right? You are intended to achieve by your very basic nature desire you want, right? You fail. And then the opposite, you experience the things you do not want it. So then why? Right? Ask this question, and then the answer is dependent arising. So dependent arising, like Nagarjuna here, is to point out how they work. The dependent arising is the work that influenced you, right? So you experience it in such a way. By the law of dependent arising. This is like the Nagarjuna clearly point out. We are doing the two things that we're kind of put in the position, and so with respect to the way how we deal with sentient being. Right, the two things. One is to respect them and see them as the sources of our happiness, right? And then treat them with greater respect. And by doing this, and because of dependent arising, the law of dependent arising, you will naturally achieve the happiness in this life alone, right? Like we talked before, so your reputation, your wealth, and the accumulation of your wealth, right, and your knowledge and the things or events and which you find is very desirable, and all this and because of the way you treat others, right, and it's come directly from others. So that's how the law of dependent arising work and affect you. So if we go and take a look in the ancient India or the traditions of the Indian religion, we know that the greatest the god, right, and such as Brahma, right, and Vishnu and Indra and all the Samati and greater powerful divine being, right? And they become a divine being. They are who they are, is because they did exactly follow the law of dependent arising, meaning that they did so many things and all things and benefits to others and help others and by the means of the altruism and to help others. So therefore, they achieve such a highest divine position, and then they appreciate, enjoy in their existence, right? And so in the Buddhism, right? So we know that to follow the law of dependent arising and treat the sentient being with a great respect is the way to help us to achieve our temporary desire, mundane desire, right? And but then ultimately also to achieve our perfect enlightenment. So the thing we have to also know, the other side of the dependent arising is that, like Nagarjuna pointed out here through the various examples, and such as like hungry ghosts, hell-being, and those the spirits and so on and so forth, and the animals, of course. And so from a dependent arising point of view, why the people end up like that and experience those things, especially like a hell, right? and within the hell, the idea of hell, we know that the hells of with the fire and also the cold, right? All these things, we know that the sound, when we talk about hell is sort of not a comfortable thing, but from Buddhist point of view, and it's not really objectively there, right? It's not something that's inherently or intrinsically developed or existed, established. It is inherently existed, right? It is actually the kind of the manifestation of your own mind, and it is the result of your mental attitude, is the result of your own practice. Okay? So the way how you set your mental set, the settings of your mind and the attitude of your mind, right, is sort of matches to the descriptions of hell. And even though it's and does not inherently exist objectively there, but because of your mental, the sense of mind, right, the attitude of your mind is being that way, with great harm, anger, and agitations, and rejections, and confusions, and so on and so forth. So you experience something we named after hell, hell. So these things are, and again, if you look at it from the dependent arising point of view, right, it can be avoided, right? It can be irrelevant. It is irrelevant is because only, and your attitude is being that way, being in such a negative way, and being harmful. So therefore, and individually, you have to deal with it. Right. So the advice here is that to understand that how important sentient beings are, right? So and then ask yourself, I want happiness, and I know and for sure, but then ask yourself why I can't achieve it, right? And all the way that I want it to be, right? And I do not want suffering occur, and why? And then go back and looking for the answer from dependent arising. Right. So the simplest advice is that all the bad things happening is because you hurt others. You fail to respect and treat others with great the respect or care and love, right? And similarly, and the good things happen, and you are happy, and again, it's the result of your the way how you treated others. And so I think this is it's simple, but also the most profound lessons here that Arjuna is trying to teach us.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So now I would like to open the floor and cyber space to you all, and do you have any questions for me or want to make any comments? So yes, I know you probably have your own daily schedules, and then we reach the time 11:30, and if the last question still haven't finished or something happened, and if you need leave, and feel free to go on and do whatever you need taking care of it.
I have a question. There's a line in this text that speaks about relying on sentient beings as the cause and also as the result. I'm wondering if Geshe-la Kongpa might be able to speak about the reliance on other sentient beings and putting that in context of the turnings of the three wheels, and the way in which relying on sentient beings or seeking to benefit sentient beings can be linked to each of the three wheels of turning of the Dharma. And maybe that could be useful for us understanding how it can be both a cause and a result of our aspirations.
Okay. Three wheels of Dharma. Okay. Also, di kola chishi do se da jongkong kapino komishi da kanta dina na jongkong na de singu do tada nga to nyamlang ji kanshi imba ina what is samjen tham chalani tende ba samjen tham je de nga to nyamlang ge dream ani nga to nyamlang ge da dewe inde ba judan dewe niga imba da ge judan dewe niga samjen incident ni ki songte do se tina gisilani nga to kolo Tama Burma and the Tama Burma ne kolo simio as or chunkur sumgi rumba titang and samjen tamchen nigani Jiva Kanda the Chaka or is it? Samjet Tamjet giving the July give Suzuki giving Jivula in Bayina or Colosum de Journey Swaina and there's water chick. Then they are metal and because a Bomusik lamb it was happening. Is it?
Então Colosum de ne concept de Jalatini. Sont à la concept de Jarum Drumla, c'est ne tango ne Colo tango sont de Jardin Tamsila ne tango ne Queen tang de Niling Moma de Kandajire, Nano, the Division Sabi, Jerum, Nathan the Chaton, Motuchire, and they Kandajis, Dembajing Motucho, Dembajing Motucho, so on a Simjan Tamsila, and the Krono, the Nindoku, the Nin Chongu Duas, the Ninta Kani Chomari, the Ninta Kanjon Dembali Chomaris, the Dingan Mewas, Guna Tango Kanjon Mewas Goris. The Zone Mewas, Tabum to your ways, and the Dingan Mewas, Tarawad Yoris, thank you, Tarawat Yoris, thank you, Tarawat Tobala. Golden Gopa, Dingle copy Kapaji Yoris, the Copper Shepard, Lamki Dembazi, Toronga, Samlu, Ya, Compet Tanil, Della Lams in the Yarn Rosaga, the Topper Shepi and the Seminyam, the Lam Yang Tamil, Lamki Demba Gongore, Lamki Demba, thank you, Golden the Topper is. Oh, that and then Cross at the Dingle, but Dingatella, and Tinon it under the Dingle Chapter Sheps of Dingle Debi Koronga. Hachimongo should that didn't Chachima Chishego to Tama, how to go to Jenny and Corwali, Tarawag Ninjong Kyo, what they share. Then they called Paria Catidella, adding around some dancing some trouble shows you, they didn't the dancing is our Korea Shibala dancing. They made to go inside the Chidam to Toronto Saban around some of them the Tarawang Croat the Ramazindi passion that someone did the Yomarta. Then Jonga Shima Orange to be your own body, and the Kolo Barry Chitam never remember, and then Muitam Haton, that Kerming Bush, Tom bodies in it. That is only Titana, and Maron Samanga, the so shows it was the Nga said Sanek Muturism, Manga Marin, not Tanga Maris, and the lead on the Tanga and the Manuba. Manuba, not the Manuba Tini Patan is on a not to the rock gomer. Not Sunny Maris, the Tomat, Tombi Thompson, then in Jonatham Gijango, then that only to the Shigo. Only to the Shelley, and Cruel Barry Cups or that Zo Carson or David Champion Jungle or Johnson, the Denny Jungle coming about Semki Ranjan Jimonipa, Shatter, Chitam Semki Romani Pasha, Sem del Dokojan, Sem the Tama Chutwan, Ranjingi. Number Tapare, Lord Natisha, the Chela, and the Shetzo and the Takolo, Goma, Kolo Partas with Yator Sonso and Ninjo Sonchi Sam Sas, what that Pachung Capuchung Tapachimbo Monsuata Sanji Gombo Tobershepala in Chimi, Simchela, Simchela Tenny, or but young Dutch of Bina, so Rangi, Yomo Chatapon Dungeon. The Topi share with Gilaki, Danza Pong also, Ronsing Kiwal Bakasa, the deal of Chiga, Puma Maricom Kiwal, Maricom Lace of Leon Kiwal and Tenita, Tigan Katsare. Yena, Tamchi can be come to go. Gentle Tershabat and Rondo Tershabat to go Tokyo Mart. Rondo Tershabat, Gentle Tershabat, so Yachimbush, so Yachimbush, Semjala than the Semki, Paris Batilla jump, or telling numbers of Sangi. There's a time about the 10 Java in. Logo, the Dado, Omen, Common, the beach, Song your Tetsane. 어떻게 대자다 형제세다 아니 토머까치와 파트까치와 타머까치와 아니 조지시면 오는 송 토머까치와 아니 사원당식 바인 근데 뭐 형제들 토치 물론시 사원당 파트까치와 아니 칠르당다와 인지 타머까치와 르우면 받듯이 바인데 대자다 아니 토머는 가지고 코로아리 토머 타워지 발라 선 토치 물론시 바나 형제들 끼니 상스 sem통고요 아니 파트 상지 바로도 시바 트바츠데 바츠치 와라 야 너지트 같이 뭐 영지요나 대충 리라 스토아치네 жанр 도치트 거르티 같이 볼 다른 건 벌써 성지 송에는 영지고 영지면은 sem지 도시기 말해 어디 자다 영지 세트 포다 왔습니다 같이 그래서 다도 소마 찍찍라 판 젠더요 다 sem지 탐지 이동 레월시 지 타치도 들으서 시시오면 되겠다 근데 아주 건설식금 내드기부터 탐지 sem지 탐지는 내다고 랑지 탐지는 내다고 또도 오마데 된종도 시작을 때 된종도 콜로 빠르게 갔더니 콜로 땅보 갔을 때라 아니 리땅 요모가 캬버드 리 개와치나 리 머기와 강니 종이 된종을 캬버지 실 인디 남정 뜻이요 다 콜로 빠르게 갔을 때라 베 랑지기 마르바 텐니 종이 돈 뜻이요 콜로 타메 가서 조 롱그 삼라 때니 종아다 노도로시는 노르디도 시작을
Oh, it's a lot. Well, how to make connections or make a sense with respect to the ideas of sentient being is essential in terms of to achieve our happiness in this life and our mundane happiness as well as the ultimate goodness, or definite goodness. And in relation to the three turning wheels of the three turning wheels of Dharma. First of all, we know that the idea of or the traditions of turning wheels of the three turning wheels of Buddha Dharma is it's a tradition where in Buddhism is the as the special way and then to lead the sentient being, to help sentient being to achieve and their respective goal. This is because in the first turning wheel of the Dharma, and by the way, each turning wheel of the Buddha Dharma has it's a unique, special group of audience. So therefore, we can say that in other words, the purpose of the three turning wheel of the Buddha Dharma is essentially a desire to fulfill the wishes or the help the three different individual and then their aspiration and assist them to achieve their goal. This is because the first, when the turning wheel of Dharma, if you look at the nature of the core teachings of the first turning wheel of the Buddha Dharma, that is the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths is the essence of the first turning wheel of the Dharma. And so the way how the benefits of sentient being connected with the sentient being is that so essentially the way to benefit the sentient beings, you have to point out and help them and to see that the samsara and which means there's two things. One is the physical universe, right? This is the place in which you live. That's the external samsara. And then internal samsara, which is general, and which is the real samsara, actual samsara. That is your own and the five impure, contaminated five aggregates. So Buddha, the way to help them is by pointing out the suffering nature of the samsara. So therefore, Buddha said that the first goal is that we have to understand the noble truth of suffering, and then understand where the suffering comes from. That leads you to the after the understand the noble truth of dukkha, then leads you to think about and then understand the noble truth of nirodha, or the causes of the suffering. And then the third is so once you understand the causes of suffering, and then you know that it is the possibilities of to completely eradicate all the causes of suffering and free from the suffering and the cause of suffering. That is I'm sorry, samudaya. Sorry, the second, the cause of suffering is samudaya, and the causes of suffering and the causes of the cause of the noble truth of suffering. That's samudaya. Then understand it after you understand the samudaya, or the cause of the noble truth of the cause of suffering, and then you would see the possibilities of the cessation, or nirodha, meaning that you're completely free from the suffering and the cause of suffering. Once you come to the point that you are certain about this possibility, and then you move to the noble truth of path, or magga. So this lead gives you to the stage and where you can now approach the goal, and the goal of this noble truth of cessation, and by implementing the practice of Buddha Dharma. So Buddha Dharma here is, simply speaking, is the three trainings of the Buddha and the Buddha's teaching, right? And the trainings of moral ethics, and trainings of meditation, and trainings of wisdom. And then you attend the cessation, and then ultimately you eliminated or be able to eradicate all the suffering and the causes of suffering. So for this special group of audience, Buddha taught in terms of how to benefit them, right? And taught the noble truth of Four Noble Truths of the teachings of Four Noble Truths. Then for the second special the audience, or a group of the people, and during the second turning wheel of Dharma, and the Buddha taught the ultimate nature of reality, right? Here is like first of all, Buddha set up the stage and help those individuals to understand now you see that noble truth of suffering, and so then you recognize that, right? And then you also discovered or fully understand the causes of the sufferings, right? And then you understand that the possibilities of to completely root out the suffering and the cause of suffering, right? And then you're working on the actual practice, right? But the thing is here, and so the root cause of the samsara, right, at the turning wheel of second wheel of Dharma, is become much more profound and much more reach the depth. That is because Buddha, by pointing out, right, the emptiness of inherent existence, and to further more directly point that what is the real cause of the suffering itself in the ultimate sense. And this is again based upon the audience attitude. So the audience, among the audience, and even though they understand the Four Noble Truths, but they may not necessarily and able to see the profundities of this the emptiness of the teachings of emptiness with respect to the phenomena and self a person is devoid of inherent existence, because they will rely on and they will still believe whatever appears in their mind. In their mind, under the influence of the innate grasping at the grasp itself of phenomena, innate grasping of the self of self phenomena, and they would see that something is objectively and is solid and concrete. It's so hard to get rid of it. So therefore, in order to help in those individuals, this special group of audience, and the Buddha taught the direct point directly, and so phenomena is lack of or devoid of the inherently established or self-sufficient nature. And so if you refer to the Heart Sutra, you know that that's why Buddha made this direct cut, clear cut, says there's no eye, no nose, and no ear, and no form, and so on and so forth. So, and in the first turning wheel of Buddha, and the Buddha turning wheel of Buddha Dharma, and the Buddha point out the existence of the cause effect, right? Helps you to understand the basic the nature of the samsaric nature, as well as the way to attain liberation. But here, in order to help individual to not just achieve the liberation for the individual's benefits, but rather to help in those who attain the perfect enlightenment, and in order to all benefit all sentient beings, then Buddha point out the ultimate nature of the old phenomena that is devoid of or lack of inherently existent. And so that's what to find that you can Buddha taught looking and from your own body, your own mind, and you find that essentially there's nothing really and as intrinsically established or existed as how the way it appears to in your mind, right? And then so for the special audience of the third turning wheel of Buddha and Dharma, here Buddha particularly and even more specifically point out the everything is the manifestation of one's own mind. In other words, is whatever you experience, right? And you think of, and then so you are encountering, you having any interactions with, all of them essentially is the projections of your own mind. So ultimately, the phenomena and any sense of your understanding of anything that is merely as our mind. So this way, and Buddha point out how they relate to the things, events, and how it relates to your own mind. So this is the essence of the third turning wheel of Buddha Dharma. But we go back a little bit to say that in the first turning wheel of Dharma, and in order to assist those individuals who is not perfectly ready to generate bodhicitta and took oath and to attend and practice Buddha Dharma in order to benefit all sentient beings, and then aimed to attain Buddhahood, and Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths, right? And then also through the practice of help them through the practice of the 12 links of interdependent origination, and then let them be able to help them to understand the emptiness of self of a person. In other words, to help them to understand the selflessness of a person, but not necessarily the selflessness of the phenomena. And so, because ultimately, and the Buddha's goal is to assist everyone and to achieve it, and to accomplish two things, right? Two accomplishments. So one accomplishment is the self-accomplishment. That means that the self-accomplishment means that you attain liberation. No, you are no longer need to experience any samsara, right? Because you are liberated from the samsara. That's the self accomplishment. And then, but yes, through the practice of Four Noble Truths and 12 links of interdependent origination, you can achieve the self-liberation, but not the others' liberation. So others' liberation is the second accomplishment, or second the greatest thing. So in order to help and lead every individual eventually to attain Buddhahood, that is others' accomplishment. The Buddha then taught the second will of Buddha Dharma, and more specifically, and taught the third turning will of Dharma. And in a way, you can think about this is against about the way to benefit others, right? And sentient beings. Under the three turning will of Dharma is clearly, it seems to me, is like it's because of the levels of individual audience and the competency, or the levels of understanding. And for those who are not mature, 100% ready, and the Buddha taught them accordingly. But for those who are ready and to generate bodhicitta, and then Buddha taught the profound teachings such as the emptiness of the inherent existence, and then point out that the mind only, yes, the understanding of, or the teachings of mind only. So this is the process. See, first of all, and lead them to up onto the stage where they can see, oh, the cause effect is there, and the possibilities of and avoid the suffering, cause of suffering, and attend the self-liberation, and all these possibilities is there. And then once they are lead to there, and then Buddha began to teach them the true, the ultimate nature of everything, and then give them show them how to practice or engage in 6 great perfections, and the practice of 6 great perfections, and then point out them to ultimately they need to help others. Right? But the way to help others is to attain the Buddhahood. So this is how the cause effect is working in the subtle way, right? And or you can say the dependent arising is working in a subtle way. But all this be driven by the great compassion. The great compassion in the sense that how the cause helping others in terms of the feel them, see them as a rich field. Right? I'm not sure about entirely we say sentient being is the result, is the cause, and also the result itself, without giving the without the specific context. Right? So we can discuss this in the cause sentient being as a result, and the cause maybe best upon in according to a specific context. But in general, regardless of that is the subtlety of this part of the conversation, just say that and the compassion, right? And in terms of the how the sentient beings are and important, right? The importance of sentient being at the causal level and at the result level. From both level and both the dimensions, you can see sentient being and it's so important at the causal dimension is because for them, sentient being, you can generate the great compassion, right? And then again, because of them, you can maintaining, right? And then maintaining and perfecting the great compassion. And finally, again, because of the sentient being, you can perfect the great compassion. Finally, right? And even if after you attain Buddhahood, because of the sentient being, and then you can carry out all the Buddha's deeds, and then continue to benefits and helping others. So then I see this conversation and the relation between the conversation we just had and ended the three turning wheel of Dharma in kind of in this way. But this is a very big topic, and so it requires a more detailed discussion and from within the sort of a specific given context.
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Any other questions, please? Oh, yeah. So those of you, if you attended this discussion with Geshe-la on Facebook, and you're welcome to send your questions. So just look at the time. It seems so. Yeah, our time is actually behind beyond the schedule. So I encourage you. I apologize today, and we're not able to take your questions. I encourage you in the future. Maybe you can post your questions on Facebook comments field or in Zoom and ahead of time or while we were discussing, while we were having the conversations. So now let's say the prayers.
Lemon prayer on page number 80.
Nam zhi ya vi o bo dan zhi ma so bi ce ro dan ya be yang ji ze vi ji zong dan be Zong Wang Jie Zhou Nie Ne Zhe Bei Yan Na Yue Xu Shou Rang Ge Zhe Zhen Do Bei Lang Jie Xue Zhe Zi Chang Wei Tang Wei Zhou Wei Ye Ji Men Ba Sa Ji Ya Wei Dang Ba Ye Rang Zhen Ye Dang Ba Ren Zhen Chou Ge Ma Xiu Zhang Yang Ber Zhi Wei Shou Den Nyang Jie Chen Bo Yao Ren Jiu Ba Pang De 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 Sa Wer Xie Ber Shou Si Ji Ya Wei Ma Shong Chen Li La Zhou Shang Qiu Lang Ji Ren Bi Dang Du Nam Ji Ye La Hu De Shang Ya Wei Za Fa Rang De Zhong Ye Zhi Lang Zang Zhi Bei Ten Jian Zhi Xi Shang Ga Jian Se Xi Me Dang Me Men Cai Rou Kan De Ya Wei Ngan Ba Yi Nam Da Nan Dan Zhen Er Ma Yi Ji An Zi Ta Ba Chou La Chi Jiu Ji Si Zhen Zhi La Zong Ma Di Yi Ji Te Den Nan Ji Dan De Zhou Xi Zha Xi Jiang Zu Shou Gen Zhang Zhi Ji Huang Nian Zhang Wei La Ma Ren Guo Qi Da Bi Yin Der Wa Mi Dang Zhi La Ka Zhen Shen Bo Gu Li Ji Gong Bi Gu Song Du Jie Wong Zhe Sa De Su Shang Zhi Sen Chou Ren Bo Qi Ma Ji Ba Nan Ji Zhi Ji Jia Wa Nian Ba Me Per Ku Ne Gong Du Pe Wen Shou Gong Ri Ren Wei Hu Wei Sheng Zhang De Fan Dang De Wa Ma Lin Zhong Wei Ni Qian Zhi Sen Wang Dan Zhen Jiao Zhou Ye Xia Bei San Jie Ba De Dan Jie Ji Jiang Zhang Pa Wu Jie De Ren Qian Ba Dong Kun De Song Wu Dian De Shin De De Da Kun Ji Ji Si Da Lo Shi Ge Wang De Da Dang Jie Dan Wo Du Sun Xiao Bei Ya Wa Tam Jie Jiang Wo Han Ma Zhou De Ma Ba De Da Xin Yi Wei Za Wang De Zhen Zhong Sang Bo Zhe Jie Rao Du Ngo Er Jie Pen De Zhong Wei Dan Ba Da Xiang Ye De Jie Gong La De Jie Zhong Wei Ne Sang Jie Dan Ba Da Du Jie Jie Ji Si Re Kun De Ya Wa Zhong Ga Wei De Xiao Xin Yin Wu Si Ze Bei De Jia Wei Ma Bei Ge Jie Zhang Yang Do Bo Ma Zhi Ji Oh ja, somos desfile. Ja.
All the best. Thank you, Day.